Hello, everyone. Good day in Kaikoura. We'll just give it a minute to settle. We can see a lot of advisors in the waiting room coming in. Just one moment and we'll be back. That's awesome. Kia ora again and good day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are coming live to you from New Zealand. I'm based in Queenstown in New Zealand, and we have 5 amazing wine operators from 5 leading wine regions of New Zealand to present to you today. We are all in the future. It's 7 a.m. on Thursday morning here in New Zealand. It looks the same as yesterday, really. I'm Kiran, Senior Vice President Sales for ANZCRO DMC. We can assist you with all your requirements for Australia and New Zealand. ANZCRO specializes in customized itineraries. We turn around a customized itinerary with availability and a quote for you in 1 or 2 business days. So send us an email on what you need, and we come back to you in 1 or 2 business days with an itinerary quote and availability. We have an exciting 60 minutes planned for you, taking you into a deep dive into the main regions and products that make up a New Zealand wine trails vacation for your clients. Today, you'll hear from 5 speakers: Jess from Marlborough Wine Tours, Brooke from Ananda Tours in Wahiki Island, Duncan of Hawke's Bay Experiences, Phil from Zozo Travel covering the Martinborough wine region, and Alia from Altitude Tours covering the Central Otago wine region. I will be back in the end to take you through ANZCRO's Magellan Gold Award-winning website and digital brochures, and the ANZCRO New Zealand wine itineraries covering the regions and the products that you'll learn about today. To kick off, you'll first hear from Jess from Marlborough. Jess has to rush out as soon as she finishes. She's hosting a group of people on her tours today. Hello and welcome, Jess. The screen is yours.
Good morning. Well, good morning, everyone. Okay, we'll just click through into the slide. That's it. I'm Jess from the original Marlborough Wine Tours. We've been operating in the Marlborough region for over 25 years now, and my husband and I bought the company in 2017, so we've been here since then. So I'm just going to give you a bit of background about how to get to Marlborough. Here's the map of New Zealand, and we're located here in the middle at the top of the South Island on the east coast. So sorry, we're doing it a wee bit out of order today because I have to get out of here. But anyway, you can fly here from Christchurch, Wellington and Auckland. Direct flights from Wellington and Auckland with Air New Zealand, and Sounds Air with Wellington and Christchurch flights. We can self-drive here. A lot of people do the top of the south drive, so Christchurch up around Blenheim over to Nelson and down the west coast, stopping in Kaikoura as well. The bus also does a similar route. We have the Coastal Pacific train that comes up from Christchurch via Kaikoura to Blenheim and Picton, and we're able to pick up your guests from either Blenheim or Picton. And of course, we have the ferry, which comes from Wellington across to Picton. So why you are going to love Marlborough? Well, it's an amazing little spot, really great climate. It's one of the best things about being here. I think it's got one of the best climates in New Zealand. We are the largest wine region, and we've got great local produce, local wine, and there's plenty of other things to do here in Marlborough as well. Other than just wine, there's the Queen Charlotte walks, a lot of trails, 1,500 kilometres of coastline. We've got the Omaka Aviation Centre. There's cruises out onto the Pelorus Sound and the Marlborough Sound. and of course, lots of wine and fine dining. It's a great place to have a couple of days stay. 2 to 3 days 2 to 3 nights is really good. There's plenty to do, but it's also really relaxing. And being in the middle of the country, a lot of people are sort of halfway through their trip, and they're looking forward to having a little bit of quieter time because they've been doing high energy stuff on the rest of their trip. So why come out with Marlborough wine tours? Well, we're really well established. We have great reputation and relationships with all of the wineries in the area. We've got a fleet of mainly European vehicles, and we're Gold Core Mark, of course. And we also have an absolutely amazing team of staff. They've been with us since the beginning. Here we are doing our pre-season investigations and training. You know, you've got to test the wine because obviously you can't test it when you are out drinking and driving people on a tour. So every season we go out, we test a bit of the wine and do a bit of training and just learn what's happening in the region. But they are our strongest advocates for our business because they love people, they love wine, and they love the region. And so when people come on our tours, they get to really immerse themselves in not just the wine, but the whole ambience of the place. It's a very special place, Marlborough. So as I was saying, there's over 30 cellar doors in the Marlborough region that are available to us most days of the week. You know, we don't have a preset route because we have so much choice. Some wineries are closed Monday, Tuesday, some are closed Saturday, Sunday, but, you know, we're always moving the places that we visit around because that's kind of nice for everyone. It means we can customize it a bit too to what people may have requested as they do, and or they might say we don't like Sauvignon Blanc, and this is a predominantly Sauvignon Blanc region, but we're always able to accommodate that and go to a variety of places that have other varietals, which is great. Our tours depart 7 days a week. We have limited public holiday availability, so we're not always running because there's not enough wineries open, because Marlborough is very much about lifestyle. People like to have a day off. Our tours depart from either Picton or Blenheim. We have full day tours, and the one that's in the ANZCRO itinerary, Beyond the Vines, is our really relaxed full day tour from Blenheim or Picton, and you're just going to 5 wineries. The middle one is your lunch stop at a lovely winery restaurant, and people get to really immerse themselves in what's happening in the region, the wine, the people, and just have a great day out. We're really focused on having a high service level for all of our clients so that they, because it gets pretty hectic, in the wineries during the summer. And so we're there, we're making sure that they're always getting the best service so they can really enjoy their day. We obviously pick up and drop off everyone from their accommodation in the central Picton and Blenheim areas. And that just ensures that nobody's out there worrying about drinking and driving, because that's not a good thing to do. We have half-day tours as well. So we have a morning half and we have an afternoon half. They're more focused. The morning is more focused on a few wineries and a nice lunch stop. The afternoon is really purely a tasting tour, and so that runs through fairly quickly. But if people are on limited time or, you know, not as into wine, then they quite enjoy that tour, and it works out quite well with their program. We then, of course, have our private wine tours, and they can run on a standard kind of half or full day route, or we can do more bespoke tours, you know, with optional extras like meet the winemakers and vineyard tours and places that they want to go, that some places don't take groups or are smaller. And so they it just gives us different options of places to go. So you just have to come to us and we will make sure that that works out for you. Yeah, and I think one of the great things about our tours is that they are really customizable, and people do like that, and we have great reviews because of it. So anyone in the Marlborough region, you're welcome to come along and give it a go. And we've thank you for letting me present today. Sorry, that was always horrible to go first. And I do have to rush off now, so I can't answer any Q&As right now, but you're welcome to message me and I will answer any questions that you have as soon as possible. So now I'm going to hand over to the lovely Brooke. We're going back to the top of the country up to Waiheke Island, and Brooke's from Anada Tours. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Kia ora, everybody. My name is Brooke, and I'm from Anada Tours on Waiheke Island. We're a family-owned company that offer daily shared group tours and also private tours showcasing the best of Waiheke Island. We run tours year round, and we cater for anything from private tours of 2 up to, we have done groups of up to 200 people. Ananda is a Sanskrit word, and it means pleasure, bliss, and happiness. It was when my mum set up the company 25 years ago. The feeling of Ananda, the feeling of happiness, was the feeling that she wanted our clients to leave Waiheke having. Waiheke's a little bit of a slower paced life. We don't have any fast food chains here or even any traffic lights. So it's a really relaxing kind of introduction to New Zealand. People often come over to the island when they first arrive here in New Zealand. It helps to set the tone for the rest of their trip around Waiheke. We've got signs around the island saying, "Slow down, you're here," and it's very much the motto of the island. The island Waiheke is located around 40 minutes via fast ferry from the central CBD. Leaves from Quay Street and comes across to our main port, Mātiatia, where we meet the customers. The main ferry company is called Fuller's, and they run a walk-up service. So that means that the ferries are loaded on a first-come, first-served basis. In the busy summer months, which are December through to March, we do recommend that our guests get down to the ferry around 45 minutes prior to the boat they want to catch. Otherwise, alternatively, you can book your guests on some of the reserve ferry options too, which run over summer. They're a little bit more expensive, but they guarantee that the customers arrive to the island on time. For luxury travellers, alternative methods to get to the island are helicopter. The island is around a 12-minute helicopter ride from the CBD, and we pick up from the airfield here on the island, or they can land at some of the vineyards that have helicopter landing facilities. And there's private charter boats that you can arrange as well. So generally, people come across as they disembark the ferry. Our guide greets them with a signboard and a warm welcome, and we look after them from there. If there is anyone wanting to stay on the island, we can pick up from local Waiheke accommodation as well. So a little bit about Waiheke. We're probably one of the lesser known wine regions. The island is around 92 square kilometres or 36 square miles, and we've got a permanent population of just over 9,000 people. We've got the name the Island of Wine because although small, we have around 30 boutique vineyards who specialise in making high quality wine. And most of this wine is just sold direct from the cellar doors. You don't get to see it exported at all. They sell it in their local restaurants and then send wine directly to people's homes internationally. The varieties that we produce here, we're predominantly a red wine region, so our climate is suited to the grape varieties traditionally grown in the Bordeaux region in France, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and these Bordeaux style blends are what made Waiheke famous. They're age-worthy wines that can cellar for 20 to 30 years plus. Some of which, the likes of La Rose, are collector's items for wine enthusiasts around the world. Syrah is our most planted grape variety now. We do grow some white varieties, Chardonnay and Viognier, a little bit of Pinot Gris, but for the most part, red wine. And we're a little bit too warm to grow the likes of Sauvignon Blanc, which of course is well known from Marlborough region. Produce beautiful olive oils here. We've also got a whiskey distillery, a gin distillery, and also some incredible scenery, beautiful beaches. Now, I'd like to show you a short video that I've prepared, and I'll tell you a little bit about it as we go. So the island has 144 kilometres of coastline. Our previous name of the island was called Timotu Aotearoa, which means the long and sheltering island. And we've got these beautiful white sand beaches. The one that we're seeing is Onitangi Beach. The island's also known for its art studios. The island's been a home for people looking to get away from the hustle and bustle, and we produce some incredible artists here on the island. Mud Brick, where these people are dining, is one of our most well-known vineyard restaurants. Stunning views, great cuisine, and one of the options where we take people to for our private tours for lunch. We have access to some private estates that aren't open to the public, one of which is Tereri Cove, where you get to meet the winemaker. And one of the highlights, particularly for people who aren't so into wine, is doing some olive oil tasting at All Press Olive Groves. They've won international awards for their olive oil. Tantalus is one of the newer vineyards on the island, exceptionally high quality. They've got a private room where we can do food and wine pairings and host VIPs. And Heki is the distillery that they've been making world-class whiskies on the island for about 10 years. It's a great addition to the island, very popular as well. So we offer several shared group tours. The first of which I'm going to talk about is our Essence of Wine tour. This one departs off the 10 o'clock ferry from Auckland. We meet them as they arrive on Waiheke around 10:40. It visits 3 vineyards for wine tasting. We like to showcase some of the other locally owned vineyards owned by local families. And we choose ones located around different areas of the island so that we can showcase some of the scenery as we go. All of our guides are local guides, and they love sharing stories about what it's like to live on Waiheke, some of the history and Māori history of the island too. The lunch on this tour is down on Onitangi Beach that we saw in the video. It's a locally owned restaurant that has amazing food, and we often get the comment that it's their best meal they've had in New Zealand. They're very good at catering to dietary requirements as well. This one goes back on the 4 o'clock ferry, so people get back to the city around 4:45. Our gourmet food and wine tour is probably our most popular tour these days. It's a little bit longer than the Essence. It starts off the 9 o'clock ferry. And this one's more about pairing some of the wines with local food. One of the highlights, particularly for seafood lovers, is to try some of our Timatuku oysters, which are produced down the eastern end of the island. So on this tour, we visit 2 vineyards for food and wine pairing. from October, we're going to be going back to all press olive groves to do olive oil tasting and learn about how they produce it. And then finishing with a whiskey or spirit tasting. But saying that, if they would prefer a wine, that's totally doable as well. And with any of these tours, we take people back to Matiatia, or we can drop them in the local village if they wish to stay on Waiheke for longer. And the ferries go through till midnight. So if they want to stay on the island for dinner, that's totally fine as well. With our private gourmet food and wine tours, again, we can really tailor them to suit. It allows us to visit some of the smaller, lesser known vineyards, venture down to the remote eastern end of the island, and showcase some of those off the beaten track vineyards. With this tour, we include a 2-course fine dining lunch, usually at Mudbrick or Tantalus, which we saw in the video. For anyone not into wine, Waiheke has definitely got some fantastic options to offer them. As we saw some of the private art studios, we've got incredible walking tracks, and our guides are trained to host guided walks around the island. There's some beautiful gardens with sculptures, and exploring some of the beaches and scenic beauty of the island. So why choose Nanda Tours? I guess we're really passionate about showcasing the island that we love. Our goal is to have our visitors leave Waiheke loving it as much as we do. So I'll pass on now, venture further down the North Island to Duncan from Hawke's Bay Experiences, and you'll take over. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Duncan Darroch from Hawke's Bay Experiences, and I want to invite you on a journey through Hawke's Bay. I'll begin by welcoming you in Te Reo Māori. Don't worry, I'll follow it with the translation. Ko te mata o rongo kako te maunga. I'm welcoming you to the mountain of Te Mata Peak, known in Maori mythology as the sleeping giant Rongo Kako. You can see it here in the background behind me. Ko Naruroro te awa. I'm welcoming you to the braided river Naruroro, whose gravels make this region perfect for winemaking. Ko te matua a Maui te moana. I'm welcoming you to the Pacific Ocean, known in this area as the fishhook of Maui. And finally, ko Duncan Darroch toko ingoa. My name is Duncan Darroch, founder of Hawke's Bay Experiences. Welcome to New Zealand's Hawke's Bay. Hawke's Bay was recently awarded the title of a great wine capital. This region's wines stand out internationally, and we're in great company, as you can see, along with the world's premier wine destinations. No other wine region has the same combination of climate, riverbed and limestone soils, viticulture, history and winemaking as Hawke's Bay. This region is on New Zealand's North Island east coast and has the unique sheltering mountain ranges which give it a long, hot, dry summer, creating the perfect conditions. At Hawke's Bay Experiences, we aim to unpack all these elements through our Great Wine Capital and Local Producers Tour. As you can see here on the map, there are distinct sub-regions that make this a Great Wine Capital. We begin in the Gimlet Gravels, move through to the Havelock Hills and finish on the Tiwonga coasts. Our journey begins in the Gravels, the engine room of Hawke's Bay red wine. The aforementioned Naruroro River shifted course in 1867, leaving behind this gem. In 1981, industry pioneer Chris Pask spotted the Gravels from a fertilizer spreading airplane and founded Pask Winery with the earliest plantings. It is now an internationally recognized appellation with its own unique soil profile, creating amazing Syrah and Hawke's and Bordeaux style blends. Guests begin with the immersive tasting at Pask Winery, where the picture of Hawke's Bay as a great wine capital begins to be revealed. The next stop on the journey is at the feet of the giant, at the foothills of Te Mata Peak. This unique microclimate combines hot north-facing slopes, free-draining rocky terraces, and on that sits Te Mata Estate, New Zealand's second oldest winery, and that provides our second tasting experience. Te Mata Estate has been named by Decanter as New Zealand's first growth, producing some of New Zealand's highest quality red wines, including the Te Mata Coleraine. This forms the second stop on our journey. Hawke's Bay is not only a great wine capital, but it is also the fruit bowl of New Zealand. So for our third stop, we head to Te Mata Figs, where the owner and founder, pictured here in a pink shirt, takes us on a tour of their orchard and production facilities, where we get to taste unique fig products, including the sweet fig salami. Guests will then enjoy a platter-style lunch in the Figgery Cafe to continue their immersive Hawke's Bay experience. We have often an additional stop at Arataki Honey, time and guest wishes dependent, where they can learn the story of honey from flower to table. Through both of these food stops, guests have the opportunity to purchase and take food home directly produced from the local producers. Following lunch, the journey of nature that began in the Narurara rivers concludes at the Pacific Ocean. On the edge of the Pacific Ocean, at the feet of the magnificent Cape Kidnappers, lies the Tiawonga subregion. Its cool breezes provide the perfect growing conditions for white varietals. The final stop is at Clearview Estate, where the founder, Tim Turvey, began producing wine in 1989. It soon gained an internationally recognized reputation for its exceptional quality, particularly in Chardonnays. This visit features not only a tasting, but a behind-the-scenes tour hosted by our staff who used to work at Clearview, and often joined by winemaker Tim Turvey, who is a character, as you can see from the photo. This visit is the final piece of the Great Wine Capital, completing a memorable and immersive Hawke's Bay experience. At Hawke's Bay Experiences, we have 4 unique pillars, each designed to make your visit memorable. We're a verified 5-star transport provider, and we work with Rosewood Cape Kidnappers to provide their airport transfers. Our guides are experts in their fields with backgrounds in the wine industry. I personally am a qualified winemaker and a qualified school teacher in hospitality and education. All our guides are locals and know the area well. Finally, we offer a sustainable tourism product. Our permanent fleet is fully electric with zero emissions vehicles, including a Mercedes-Benz e-Vito van. So the Hawke's Bay experience is best showcased through our Great Wine Capital and Local Producers Tour, where they get behind-the-scenes access to some of Hawke's Bay's most iconic wineries. We also offer other tours in addition. So the one I've talked about is on the left there, but we also offer a sightseeing and Great Wine Capitals tour. This delves deeper into the Māori cultural and geological forces that have shaped the region. It includes a stop at Atiarangi, a celestial compass, which is used currently to train ocean-going navigators and to mark the season. It also takes guests up to the summit of Te Mata Orongokako, or Te Mata Peak, which is a must visit. It obviously includes some wine. It includes 2 of the sub-regions aforementioned. We offer private tours. Guests often have specific requests, one of them being Craigie Range Winery, which is a very immersive experience. So for guests wanting a more bespoke itinerary or private experience, we design those around their requirements. And lastly, I'll mention our sister brand, Electric Executive, which is our premium transport provider. We provide regional transport and transport up into the Cape Kidnappers golf course and their accommodation. So if you are designing a New Zealand experience, Hawke's Bay is a definite inclusion in any itinerary. So please reach out to us, get in touch, and we can show your guests a truly memorable Hawke's Bay experience. Thank you for your time. I'd now like to introduce Phil from Zozo Travel. He's based in New Zealand's capital city, Wellington, and Phil showcases the Marlborough wine region. So when you're ready, Phil, you feel free to take it away.
Thanks very much, Duncan. I'm Phil from Zozo Travel, based in Wellington, as Duncan mentioned, which is the capital of capital of New Zealand, on the south coast of New Zealand's North Island. And we run wine tours to Marlborough, which is in the Wairarapa region, about an hour and 15 minutes northeast of Wellington, of New Zealand's capital. And I'm just going to take you through a couple of those tour options, 2 main tours, and then 2 other tours that we run that include wine and food. But just a bit of background about me and Zozo. I set up Zozo just over 11 years ago. Zoe is my daughter, and that's where the Zozo comes from. It's her nickname. And that was my inspiration to start the tour company back in 2014, based in Wellington, and all of our tours depart from Wellington City. We run small group tours, so fleet of Mercedes Sprinter vans that run tours of 2 to 11 people, and a mixture of options, half day and full day tours between sort of 4 and 10 hours. Our most popular product, and probably the product you guys are most interested in, is a simple Marlborough winery tour. So it's 5.5 hours, departs daily from 10 o'clock in Wellington City, although we have a 30-minute pickup window prior to departure that picks up from centrally located accommodation in Wellington City. So pickup service from 9:30, tour departs at 10 and returns to Wellington at 3:30 with a drop-off service back to those hotels. Not only is it a wine tour, but it's got a scenic component as well. So all of our tours that head to that wine region head northeast out of Wellington, around the western edge of Wellington Harbour, and all the way up the Hutt Valley, following the Hutt River. And then we've got a short but intense windy mountain pass to go over to get to that Wairarapa wine region, that Marlborough wine region, with a sightseeing stop at the summit at 555 metres. Then we're down the other side and out into that Wairarapa Valley, and 3 winery stops in Marlborough itself. We've got a group of about 6 or 7 wineries that we regularly use over the course of the year, over the course of the week, depending on availability. And our Marlborough wine tour visits 3 of those on any given day, with tastings included. Lunch is not built into this tour in terms of the cost, but we provide opportunity for guests to grab lunch at one of those wineries on each of the tours. Predominantly that's at Moy Hall, where they do some amazing tupper-style shared plate lunch options. Otherwise, we're into Poppy's, where they do an amazing vineyard platter. So that winery stop is always number 2, to give opportunity for people to eat something whilst on tour. But it's by guests' request. Just to give you an idea of what that experience might look like, the top left-hand corner there is the Rimutaka summit. So you're up at 555 metres, looking sort of east and west. It doesn't always look like that with a beautiful blue sky, because Wellington is famously the windiest major city in the world. So sometimes it's quite an experience just to hold on to your hat up at that Rimutaka summit. But the picture there is obviously on a beautiful sunny day, which we hope to get more of. Then the other pictures there are a variety of the wineries that we visit over the course of the day. We intentionally make sure that we do a combination of locally owned and operated wineries like Poppy's and Moy Hall, but we also try to include at least one of the big boys, which are Palliser Estate and Te Kairanga. Both were sort of the second wave of wineries planted in the early 1980s. Palliser is still New Zealand owned, so we do sort of try and love local, and generally try and visit Palliser Estate as our 3rd stop. Our other very popular tour that accesses the Marlborough wine region is a wine and wild coast tour. So wine is a component of this tour, but it's got everything else going on as well. We do trees, we do cheese, we do chocolate, we do lunch, dinner, some wildlife, some amazing coastal views. And I just thought I would take you through that 10-hour tour. Also departs daily, runs from 10 o'clock till 8 o'clock, and covers the southeastern part of the lower North Island. So I'm just going to take you through a map of that area just to give you an idea. So on the left-hand side is Wellington Harbour there, the top left, and we come out of Wellington again up the northeast out of Wellington, around the Wellington Harbour and up the Hutt Valley. We come over that windy mountain pass, and then we're into a north-south running valley that's called the Wairarapa, and Marlborough is that winery town in that valley. Then we do a little triangle of foodie towns on this tour. We visited an organic milk cheese factory called Say Cheese in Featherston. In Greytown, so the top right-hand corner, we visit Shock Chocolates, which is an amazing little chocolatier. And we do a blind chocolate tasting game, including 12 of the bars that they make on site. Blind in that we don't tell people what bar we're tasting. We've taken all the bars that include nuts out of the blind tasting just in case, and of course we always double check on dietary requirements before the game. But there's going to be a little bit of lime chili in there. There'll be a coffee and sea salt one. There'll be a ghost pepper chili one just to keep people on their toes. There's a lovely lemon white bar. There's a curry and poppadoms bar. So all of these, all of their best sellers, but also a whole lot of interesting flavors that you might not otherwise choose. So a little blind tasting game there. After Greytown, we head southeast again into Martinborough, and that's where the wine component comes in. So we do a wine tasting at Poppy's, followed by a vineyard platter lunch with a glass of wine included. That vineyard platter lunch, again, covers all the dietary requirements, whether it's gluten-free or vegetarian, vegan, all those sorts of things are easily covered. But it's an incredible platter. It's got 16 different flavors on it that vary seasonally. There might be some pork belly with a kiwi fruit jam. There'll be some beetroot hummus with dukkha. There'll be locally grown Parkvale mushrooms with a blueberry compote. All these different flavors on the platter. And the argument is that whichever wine guests choose to have with their meal will complement something that's on the platter. That's sort of the first half of the tour, the first 4.5, 5 hours of it, and it's the fancy foodie side of the tour. Then we get rugged and rural for the last half, and we head south all the way down that Wairarapa Valley to the south coast, where you can see Cape Palliser and Ngawi, and that's a really exposed, rugged coastline. There's no cell phone coverage, there's no internet, and at the bottom row of photos there, you can see sort of what we're looking at. And we're heading out to the Cape Palliser Lighthouse, which is the southeasternmost point of the North Island, and a 252 step walk up to the base of that lighthouse, about 80 metres above sea level, with spectacular views back along the coast. There's also a New Zealand fur seal colony out there, some Lord of the Rings film sites. There's Ngawi Commercial Fishing Village, where you'll see these bulldozers pulling fishing boats in and out of the water. And it's just a real good experience for people getting out of the city and seeing what rural and rugged New Zealand looks like. From that Cape Palliser Lighthouse point, we come back along the coast and into Lake Ferry Hotel for dinner, which is an old hotel that dates back to the 1850s and looks out over this tidal brackish lake called Lake Ferry. And usually a fish and chips lunch, but plenty of other options. Sorry, fish and chips dinner, but plenty of other options there for vegetarians and gluten-free, etc. From there, it's about an hour and a half drive back to Wellington and an 8 p.m. drop-off back in Wellington City. So those are the two tours I've highlighted for you. One, a sort of half-day cheap and cheerful introduction to Martinborough wineries, 3 wineries, 5.5 hours, and then the full wine and wild coast tour that involves a little bit of wine, but a lot of everything else. We do have a couple of other tours that are wine related. We do a Martinborough foodie half-day tour and a Martinborough winery and foodie tour. The half-day tour is just that cheese, chocolate, wine that we mentioned, but a cheese platter from Say Cheese, that blind chocolate tasting, and a wine tasting. And again, opportunity to have lunch should guests wish, but that's at guests' expense. Then that full Martinborough winery and foodie tour is a bit more of an in-depth look at all of the foodie providers in that Wairarapa region. You'll go on a vineyard walk with the winemaker, fill the winemaker at Moy Hall. You'll have lunch built in, that tupper style shared plate lunch. You'll do a walk through an olive grove, some of the oldest olive trees in New Zealand, and do an extra virgin and infused olive oil tasting. A visit to a craft brewery, although often we get requests to double up on the wine, and we can go to a second winery. That's perfectly okay. And then we've got the cheese and the chocolate as well. So all of our tours involve a 30-minute pickup window from Central CBD. We also pick up directly from the Wellington cruise terminal for cruise guests. And there are about 20 hotels that we cover. But by all means, let us know if you've got something that's outside our regular pickup zone, because we can try and accommodate that as much as we can. All our driver guides are fully licensed and experienced. We've got a couple of viticulturalists that specialise in the wine tours, that run our wine tours, and all of our vehicles are Mercedes Sprinter 12-seat vans. So that's Zozo Travel. I hope you've enjoyed the introduction to Martinborough and the Martinborough wine region. I am now going to hand over to Alia. She's going to take you through some wineries and their experiences down in Central Otago. So thanks very much, and welcome to Alia.
Great, thank you. All right, so hi everyone, kia ora. My name is Alia and I am going to talk to you about Altitude Tours. So Altitude Tours, we're based down in Queenstown. That is the Central Otago wine region. As you can see on the map here, Queenstown's based on the South Island, the venture capital of the world, as they call it. And we are doing wine tours out in the Gippsland region of Central Otago. So the map there on your left-hand side, I've just underlined the Gippsland region. We've chosen to stay close to the Gippsland side of Central Otago because it is the closest to Queenstown. It's only about a half an hour drive away from Queenstown, but it's also the most awarded region in Central Otago for our Pinot Noir. So if you haven't heard, Pinot Noir is the grape variety of Central Otago. Around 80% of the grapes are Pinot Noir. And I do know if you think of wine in New Zealand, you think Sauvignon Blanc. However, if you talk to a wine aficionado, they're definitely going to know the Pinot Noir from the Gippsland region. We were actually the first wine region out of France to win Best Pinot Noir in the world. And we didn't just do it once, we did it 4 times. So it's just a testament to how amazing our Pinot Noirs are. But not to worry, if you're not a huge Pinot Noir fan, we grow Sauvignon Blanc, we do Pinot Gris, Pinot Blanc, rosés. So there's definitely more to try than just Pinot Noir. But Altitude Tours, we began back in 2017, and we started with one vehicle and one wine tour, our wine sampler tour. And our mission was to be the best wine tour in the world. And then on TripAdvisor in 2021, only 4 years later, we actually won the award for Best Pinot Noir. Not Best Pinot Noir, Best Wine Tour in the world, excuse me. So from there, we've just expanded. So I'm actually going to tell you about multiple different wine touring options we've got today with Altitude Tours. And just to go through the slide, we're locally owned and operated as well. So 2 locals got together, created Altitude Tours, and they've done extremely well. They've got great experience in the tourism industry and just amazing people to work for. I've actually been with the company for over 6 years now, and I started off guiding the wine tours. So I definitely can tell you a lot of information about what we've got ahead of us. So our vehicles, we have Mercedes Sprinters. We have small groups, Our largest vehicle is actually 16 seaters, but we cap our wine tours to 14 people. So we take 4 to 14 people out to the Gippsland wine region. Very comfortable, extended legroom, and we also have Wi-Fi on all of our vehicles, which is great for those international customers coming through. And our team, so here's just a quick snapshot of the team we have. We call our team guides. So they're not just your drivers driving you from A to B. Our guides are doing the guided commentary in the vehicles, educating you about the region. We actually have a wine and beer course, a 2-day course that we put our guides through to make sure that they're well versed in the knowledge of wine history, beer history, and also, as you can see, there are lots of fun. So really fun. We're all about having a good time, and we also hand over the Spotify playlist on our vehicles so everyone can choose their songs for the day. All right, but let's get into the tours. So the first one I'm going to tell you about is the wine sampler tour. So this is the one we started off with that won the best wine tour in the world. So this tour goes out to the Gippsland region, as I mentioned. It does include tastings at 4 cellar doors. So you're trying over 18 wines for your day. It starts at 10 a.m. in the morning and finishes around 4 p.m. So a 6-hour wine tour where we actually do stop in the middle of the day at a winery, and customers can purchase their lunch a la carte on the day. So that's an additional cost to the tour. But let's go through the locations we visit. So our first stop of the day is Gippsland Valley Winery. This is actually the largest wine cave in New Zealand, and we do a vineyard and cave tour, and they get to try their wines while they're in the cave at Gippsland Valley. This winery was actually the first winery out of France to win Best Pinot Noir in the world. So we have a very educational first stop, as well as some amazing wines in the wine cave. And then we move down the valley to a place called Kinross. Kinross is quite unique, actually. They're a cellar door for 5 different wine labels, and 2 of those wine labels have a lot of history to the wine region and are world-renowned. And one of the wine labels, Varley, the winemaker Grant Taylor, he's actually the most awarded Pinot Noir winemaker in the world. So you've got a very beautiful, in-depth hosted tasting there at Kinross. After the second tasting, that's when we'll stop at the bistro at Kinross. So they do have time to purchase lunch a la carte on the day. So as I mentioned, not included, but we do have time at the restaurant. And then we mix things up a little bit. So we're going to some smaller boutique wineries now. First of those, well, the third stop of the day is Mount Rosa Wines, family run and operated small winery. And the last stop of the day is at Waitiri Creek Wines. It's a little bit of a hidden gem. It's on the back roads of Gippsland, and really small old woolshed building that they've converted. And now we can do wine tastings up at Waitiri Creek Wines. So that is the wine sampler tour, but we do have an option to elevate your experience as well. So why not start your day in a helicopter? So this is your upgraded one-way transfer out to your first winery. So instead of starting at 10 a.m., you'll be picked up at 9 a.m. and you'll start with a 25-minute scenic helicopter flight where you land on top of a mountain. You have a glass of Gippsland Valley Method Traditional sparkling wine for breakfast, and then you take a unique flight path down to the winery. So you actually fly over the vines in the Gippsland region before you land at your first winery at Gippsland Valley Wines, and then you'll join the rest of the group and you'll be on the van for the rest of the day, going to your 4 wineries. And I do have another option for people who are a little bit shorter on time. We do have an afternoon wine and craft beer tour as well. So this one's perfect for groups or couples where someone isn't 100% interested in wine, but they'll have some beers. So on this 4-hour tour that starts at 3 p.m. We go to 3 locations, and they have the option if they want to do a wine tasting or a beer tasting. And this also does include an antipasti platter and meat and cheese platter as well. So the places we go to is the Gippsland Tavern, still out in the Gippsland wine region, beer or wine options. We go to a winery at Kinross, and then the last stop is at a brewery where they have the antipasti platter. So that is ticking all of the breweries and wineries off the menu. And just lastly, before I hand over to Karan, I just want to mention that we also like to leave our guests with a little present at the end of our tours. So everyone goes home with an Altitude branded wine glass as well. So we like to call this our surprise and delight gift. So they've got a piece of souvenir and memorabilia for their wine tour with us. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and we'll get around to some questions later on, and I'll pass on over to Karan at ANZCRO. Thanks.
Address them at the end of the presentation as well. So I work for ANZCRO. We are a DMC. We've been in business for about 30 years. We have 85 staff. Head office is in Gold Coast in Australia. We also have an office in Queenstown in New Zealand, where I live and work. ANZCRO's core competencies are product depth. We have something like 40,000 products directly contracted from 5,000 suppliers across Australia and New Zealand. We've got our own proprietary booking system. Most of this content comes to us through 21 API connections. It gives us the ability to tailor make an itinerary, customize an itinerary based on your needs, and we can turn around a customized itinerary with availability and the code in 1 or 2 business days. With our codes, we break down all our codes line by line with breakdown in pricing in an itemized fashion. And there is no minimum spend with ANZCRO. So you are welcome to book any accommodation that you need directly through your own channels and ask us to book the activities or attractions, things like that. So no minimum spend. Even if it's just one transfer that you need or one tour, get in touch with us and we can help you. That's a quick snapshot of the range of products that we have. We cover all styles of travel, from seat and coach to private van to rental cars, motorhomes, trains, ferries. We also cater to all category of accommodation, from 4-star, 5-star hotels to villas, luxury lodges, boutique accommodation, farm stays, apartments, everything. So any requirement that you have, get in touch with us and we can help you with an itinerary. This is the reason we exist. We make selling Australia and New Zealand vacations easy. One of the ways we do that is through our wide array of brochures. I will take you through the website very quickly to show you where to find our content. So that's how our website looks. That's the homepage of ANZCRO.com, ANZCRO.com. In the content hub, when you browse through to the brochure section, you can see all our brochures available here. We have a 124-page brochure for New Zealand that covers all the regions of New Zealand. If your clients want a smaller brochure, then we've got a iconic brochure with just one recommended itinerary for New Zealand. So it depends on what your clients need. If they want a lot of information, send them the link to the New Zealand book. If they just want a recommended itinerary, then send them the link to the iconic brochure. ANZCRO is just B2B. We only work with travel advisors. We do not work with customers directly. However, all the content that we publish on our brochure and our website is client-facing. So you see rates. All the rates includes your commission and their indicative rates. We also have a 136-page luxury lodges brochure. So when you get a minute, browse through that as well. It's 136 pages of content of luxury lodge content across Australia and New Zealand. The content for today's presentation you can find under the Experiences tab. When you click on New Zealand, here's where we list all our New Zealand experiences. So it's got rail itineraries across New Zealand, coach tour itineraries, iconic itineraries. It's even got some itineraries for Lord of the Rings themed vacations. But this section is where we featured all our food and wine vacation itineraries. So it starts with some overview, and then it's got 4 packages that we're promoting today as our wine experience packages. A really cool feature about the ANZCRO website is that on any page at any level, you are welcome to share the links onto your social channels. So when you click share, you can send this story along with all the packages to your clients, either through LinkedIn or Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you use to promote your business. If you click on one of the itineraries, you can also share the itinerary at this level. So here you see a share button, and when you click here, again, it can post this onto any of your channels. So this 13-day wine experience is what covers all the products that you've seen today. So it's 13 days, 12 nights, and covers the regions and the products that were presented today. So this page has got a quick snapshot of the inclusions of the itinerary, and it's got rates at the bottom. These are indicative rates. You need to get in touch with us for the exact rates. The rates depends on the time of travel and how many days prior to travel you're checking with us. Also, to promote these vacations in our content hub, you will see flyers and social media tiles and also videos. So you're welcome to use all this content to promote Australia and New Zealand as a destination for your clients. Getting back to my slides. Remember, we are just B2B. We only work with travel advisors, but all our brochures are meant for travel advisors to pass on to their clients. So all the brochures are B2C. We won the most outstanding wholesaler for destination experience at the National Travel Industry Awards in 2023. And last year, we got 2 Magellan Golds in the US market for our content, which is the brochure and the website and the resources hub that I went through today. This is my contact details. I will pass this on to you. You will get, as a follow-up, all our presentations and the webinar link for the recording, and also our contact details. Please get in touch with us, and we'd love an opportunity to help you with your New Zealand requirements. We got a few minutes to go through the Q&A very quickly. I'm just reading through some of the comments. So Mikhail thinks it's a great presentation. Diana says thank you. Quick question for a few questions about a good time to come into the vineyards. So that's a very hard question to answer, frankly. We say that there is no good time or bad time to come to New Zealand. New Zealand is exactly in the middle of the equator and the South Pole. So we are like a 4 seasons destination. Summers are not too hot and winters are not too cold. Your clients should pick a time of the year based on the experiences that they want to see. Our summer, which is between December to March, is the busiest time of the year to come into New Zealand. But we feel autumn, our autumn, which is April, May, or spring, September, October, is also a really good time to come in when you get great value for the money as well. Great feedback from Jennifer. Love this. Have to run. Yes, I think we do too. Great. So seems like a lot of the questions were answered by the presenters, but we do get a transcript of all the Q&A as a follow-up. We will address all the questions if it's not covered in this session today. It's really nice to see all the positive feedback that's coming through for the webinar. Thank you. Thank you so much.